Hello, welcome fellow Blenderites. Thank you for joining me. Grab a cup, fill up some tea, and we are going to simply blend. Today we're going to work on a very simple tutorial for video editing. So let's just get started. Click off to get rid of the splash screen. You should be familiar with this window. I'm not going to explain anything other than how to do a video editing project. So we're going to go right here where it says default view, or default layout I should say. We're going to go right down here to video editing. Alright, I'm just going to explain these windows here. This one right here is going to be, you can tell what window it is by right here. It's a graph editor, and we are not going to be using this window. It's for more advanced object, or not objects, but projects and getting more involved. I want something very simple for you. So let's just go ahead and let's click on here, and we want to find properties. Okay, and click on it. And this will be just a good output window. This tells all the properties of what's going on. So we're going to go ahead and come back to this later. This black window here is our preview window. When we load up some footage, you will be able to preview it in this window. That brings me down to here. This is the video sequence editor. Alright? Any movies or any pictures you want to add or audio would all be added here in different channels. Channel 1, 2, 3, and so on. And then down here is the frame, or also known as the timeline. It's not used as much in video editing, but it's a good way to jump around without knowing the exact times. So I believe we'll just dive right in, and we'll just go into add for add a video, and you can do Shift A, but we'll just do add a video, and we'll go to movie, and we're going to go to desktop. And I like to do everything visually, so we're going to go ahead and add this movie right here. You add whatever movie you want. You can see that it's 810 frames. The blue or the purple is the movie, and the green or the turquoise is going to be the audio. So with the movie selected, we want to, first of all, so from here I want to go up to my preview window and scroll in with the middle mouse button just a little bit, and with this number of 810 frames, we're going to go here to the end, and we want to click 810 frames. A quick way to, you can scroll out and use your middle mouse button to click and move things around so you can have the whole film in view, or you can hit home on the keypad, and you can also do that in this frame here. Hit home on the keypad, and you know what, I'm curious if it will work with the 3D or with the window preview window. Home, it did. That's pretty impressive. I'll back out just a little bit. That's impressive. I should have known better. Alright, so I'm just going to scrub through here, is what it's called, when you just kind of, I'm using the left mouse click, holding it down and dragging. And I want to find right when it gets more into focus while I'm outside. So I'm going to go right there. Okay, so let's just back up right there. I'm going to say 540 frames, and you can do steps with these little arrows right here. So I'm going to step it 1 frame to 540 frames. Now, you can come over here. We're going to add a marker so I remember this frame. Alright, so you can go here to marker and just click add marker. Or, as you can see next to it, there's an M. That's a shortcut key. So I'm going to press M, and you can tell a marker was added right here. I understand that F540 doesn't really make sense other than it's frame 400 or 540. But once again, with it selected, you can go over here to marker and you can go to rename marker, which I'm going to do, and I'm just going to rename it as outside. Alright? That way, in my mind, I know where I'm at in the video along the timeline. So I can go out here and go, oh, I need to go back to that spot. Bam, we're right there. Okay. So now that we've done that, the reason I wanted to mark that is I want to scroll to the end before I come inside. And we're going to do somewhere around here. Let's do, well, you know what? Let's just do frame 700. Why not? We'll just keep it simple. Alright? Now I'm going to place another marker with M. And I'm going to name the marker right over here. Or you can do Control M. I forgot. Control M to rename. Always right here in this space. And I'm going to just say inside. Alright. So now we've gone over general layout, where generally everything is, and how to place markers in your timeline and in the video sequence editor. You notice here time is used in seconds. Down here it's by frames. That way you can get more in depth. So I'm going to go to the outside marker and I'm going to right click on it to highlight it, and I'm also going to left click on it, and I guess I was off by a little bit, so I'm going to go to 540 frame. Now with the mouse in the video sequence editor, I want to use the K button. It's also known as the knife button, which would be select, I believe, strip. It's under strip, and you would go right here. We want to go for a soft cut at frame. Alright, so just hovering over here, we're going to do a shortcut of kilo, and you can see how it made two separate videos basically. Blender's really interesting this way. It actually seamlessly puts it together. It's still one video, but this one's highlighted. Now this one's highlighted. Now let's say we wanted to add a video between this. Well, that's quite simple. We take this one and we use G or golf for grab, and we can just slide it right on over to whichever frame we want. Pretty clever that way. Another thing that's clever is if you overlap and you left click, it'll automatically snap to the end of the other one. Alright, so the reason I did this is I don't want this audio here, but I forgot to cut my audio, or I don't want this part of the video here, but I forgot I need to cut my audio. So I need to go back to frame 540. Alright, highlight or right click, select the audio, and use kilo or K and put another knife cut in there. Now, with the audio selected, we want to use the control button, hover over the video, and right click. Now both the audio and the video are selected. Now I'm going to use X as an X-ray, and that's going to delete the strips. Excellent. Now, while I'm here, I may as well right click on my inside marker and then set the frame to 700. Alright, and I'm going to, let's get wild and crazy. Let's try to do both at the same time. I'm going to right click and select the video, hold down control, right click and select the audio, and now I'm going to use K or kilo. And it did, it cut both of them at the same time. It is still, however, highlighting the footage I want to keep. So I'm going to hover over the audio, right click and hit X, right click and hit X-ray. There we go. Now I have just this little tiny audio and video clip. And what I want to do is hovering over the video sequence editor, A to deselect everything, A again. So A is select all and unselect all. Okay? Now I'm going to hit G for grab. I'm just going to slide it on over. I went beyond where I should have gone. You can use your middle mouse button to scroll in. There is a way to snap it in place. I can't remember. But it's on frame 1 now. And we'll go over the end of the video. And in case you need to know, you can do frame by frame right here. Or you can use the arrow buttons. So I'm going to use this frame as 161 and use end 161. Enter. Okay. Now, after doing all that, I'm going to use this and go back to the first frame. Now, let's go ahead and talk about output. The properties. Very important. Alright. The juice of it. Juicy steak of it. Alright. This can be very confusing at first, and that's completely understood. I don't want to get too confused. I don't want to throw too much at you. This is supposed to be simple. So, for videos, you only want to use animation button only. So we'll leave it at that. Don't touch it. I'm just saying that's the one you do right now. Resolution, you want this to be 100% always. If you notice, it changes the resolution. It's so your computer doesn't get bogged down. So resolution 100%, and you want to go down here where it says PNG. Click on that. Now these are every movie type that you can output to. So you have AVG or AVI, JPEG, and RAW. You also have OGG Theora, XVID, and MPEG, and H.264, which I'm going to use because I have great success with it. Another thing is you need to go down here to the encoding. Alright, let's go ahead and open this up and scroll down a little bit. With the encoding, you don't need to mess with it because it has AVI already selected for the format. But for the audio, by default, none is selected. So I'm going to choose, I'm going to choose MP3. You can use, I use FA or FLAC quite a bit. But the MP3 is going to work well with this particular scenario. And so now at the output, you need to choose an output file. Alright. I'm going to use my desktop. You can use any one you need. And you just click out right here. And I'm going to say this is going to be 101 because it's tutorial. Haha. 0.3 because this is like the third time I've tried this. And we're going to go accept. Alright, now everything is set up, so we're going to hit animation. So let's go ahead and make this window back more of the way it was, the default view. Alright. This display here shows that it will display in the image editor window, and that's this window. So when you hit animation, oh, I'm sorry. Of course, it would display down there. When you hit animation, it starts playing it. But it also shows here how long it takes. You can see here. But let's say we want to cancel. We hit this X button. You did something wrong, it's going to take longer, something like that. You can hit X to cancel, or if you hit animation and you need it to stop, you hit the escape button. Alright? Either one will work. Your image will be stuck here in the window until you hit escape again. So my personal preference is I don't need to preview it. I can preview it by sliding right here on the timescale, right? So I'm going to reset this back to 1. That's important. If not, the output will start with whatever frame you're on and go from there on out. So I'm going to change this image editor, and I'm going to go to keep UI. That just keeps it internal, and it doesn't have to use RAM to display the image. If you have a large video or something, it will be much better. I can show you some tips and tricks of using large videos too. But keep IU. You won't see any displays pop up, but you can see how it just really, it does go faster. It uses less resources. We're already at 50%, and I'm going to show you the final copy. So when it's done there, and 3, 2, 1, let's see if I can open it up. Of course, there's not much audio there, but I hope you learned something, and I'd appreciate any questions or comments about the video. Thank you.